Hey folks, today I bring you the drama, suspense, and maybe some forced romance movie released in 2011, so subscribe and leave a like on the video. Now, enjoy! The movie begins in a poor city where Will and his mother Rachel struggle to survive in their small apartment, fighting every day to make ends meet. Will often spends his precious time with young Maya, a street child in an even worse situation. Despite Rachel's stern warnings against time fights, a dangerous and often deadly way to earn extra time, Will remains determined to find a way to help his family. He and his best friend Burrell work at a local factory where snacks are expensive and the bodies of those who run out of time are scattered on the floor. The factory management always seems to have a convenient excuse to pay the workers less, leaving them perpetually on the brink of running out of time. One night, Will goes to a bar to collect an hour owed to him and finds Burrell, who is enjoying free drinks courtesy of Henry, a wealthy stranger with a century on his timer. Will warns Henry about the Minutemen, a gang that steals time from others, but Henry, seemingly indifferent, ignores him. As Will feared, the gang, led by Fortis, arrives and demands a time fight with Henry. Everyone flees except Will, obviously, as he is the protagonist. He hides and then helps Henry escape from the gang. They take refuge in an abandoned factory, where Henry reveals his dissatisfaction with his long life, explaining that the rich only thrive because the poor continue to die. By morning, Henry transfers all his time to Will, keeping only 5 minutes for himself, and leaves an enigmatic message: "Don't waste my time." Will watches helplessly as Henry exhausts his time on a bridge. With new time and a desire for revenge, Will visits Burrell to give him a decade, 10 years to match their friendship. But tragedy strikes when Rachel, unable to afford the sudden increase in bus fare, desperately runs to find Will, only to run out of time in his arms. The next day, the timekeepers discover Henry's body and mistakenly conclude that Will killed him for his time. Led by Agent Leon, who has a personal history with Will's father, the timekeepers begin their pursuit, tracking Will's suspiciously rapid movement across time zones. Determined to avenge his mother's death, Will disguises himself as a wealthy man and enters New Grenage, paying exorbitant tolls at each border. In the city, he stays at a luxury hotel and attracts the attention of Sylvia, a socialite intrigued by his generosity. The hotel staff, realizing he's not local, advise him to dress better if he plans to visit the casino. His movements attract the attention of the timekeepers, who recognize his face in the bridge's security footage. That night, dressed in a new suit, Will enters the casino, where non-members must make a voluntary donation of a year. He joins a high-stakes poker game with Mr. Weiss, a prominent time lender, and Sylvia, Weiss's daughter, who watches closely. Betting everything he has and with the help of the script, Will wins the game, impressing Weiss, who grants him an invitation to his next party. Unbeknownst to them, the timekeepers are closing in, adding a dangerous twist to Will's quest for justice and survival. Flush with money, or in this case, time, Will buys a very expensive car and drives to Weiss's party, attracting everyone's attention. Sylvia, curious about Will, invites him to dance and comments that he seems to come from a poor town. She envies the freedom she imagines people there have, unlike her life surrounded by guards and loneliness. Will seizes the moment and takes her swimming at the beach. When people start looking for Sylvia, they hide in a cave, returning to the mansion separately to avoid suspicion. However, the fun is interrupted when the timekeepers, tracking Will through the car purchase, arrive and arrest him. During the interrogation, Will explains that Henry deliberately let his time run out, but they don't believe him and confiscate almost all his time, leaving him with only 2 hours. When Weiss and Sylvia go to check on the situation, Will takes advantage of the distraction to overpower the timekeepers, grab a gun, and escape with Sylvia as a hostage. As Will and Sylvia flee, they face various challenges, including a car chase with Leon and a confrontation with Fortis and his gang, who steal most of Sylvia's time. Despite the danger, Sylvia begins to see the irony of her situation. Once a privileged girl, now she needs to rely on others' generosity to survive. Will helps her by pawning her earrings for time. Desperate, they call Weiss demanding a ransom, but he hesitates, revealing the cold indifference of the wealthy. They spend the night at Will's apartment, and Sylvia learns about Will's father, a time fighter who was likely killed for his generosity. As they share their contrasting experiences of turning 25, they bond, realizing the depth of the inequality that defines their world. Determined to make a real difference, Will and Sylvia start robbing time banks, redistributing time to the slum dwellers, resembling Robin Hood. Their actions, though well-intentioned, lead to unintended consequences, with prices and loan rates skyrocketing to counter the influx of time. The system strains under their pressure, and Leon, the relentless timekeeper, continues his pursuit. Their efforts put them in conflict with Fortis again, leading to a deadly time fight where Will uses his father's trick to defeat Fortis. Despite their successes, they realize that their efforts are just a drop in the ocean of systemic inequality. In a bold move, Will and Sylvia decide to rob 1,000,000 years from Weiss's vault, aiming to cause a collapse in the system. They successfully capture Weiss and grab the capsule, but their escape is fraught with dangers as the timekeepers close in. Leon's relentless pursuit ends when he forgets to collect his daily payment, leading to his untimely death. In a dramatic race against time, Will and Sylvia nearly succumb to their countdowns but manage to share a crucial moment, saving themselves just in time. Their rebellion inspires the slum residents, leading to widespread unrest as the system begins to crumble. In the end, the authorities' attempts to maintain control prove futile, and the old order begins to collapse. Will and Sylvia, now popular heroes, continue their campaign against the banks, ensuring that the system cannot be restored. Will and Sylvia's journey from fugitives to revolutionaries highlights the profound ironies of a world where time is literally money, something the movie took very seriously. Subscribe to not miss any new videos. Take care.
I gotta tell you, it was perfect. Perfect.